The Taliban is a fundamentalist group that controlled Afghanistan from 1996 until 2001. The Taliban regime controlled about 90% of Afghanistan before it was overthrown by a U.S. invasion for giving refuge to Osama bin Laden. They have made a comeback and now reside across the border in Pakistan. They have led an insurgency against the government in Kabul. Afghanistan and the United States have incompatible goals. America is trying to dissolve the Taliban due to its unconstitutional acts, and Afghanistan is almost working against the U.S. Nearly two-thirds of Afghans, a survey found, believe that reconciliation between the government and armed opposition groups would stabilize the country. However, both the United States and Afghanistan have tried to negotiate a deal with the Taliban, but so far, no success has been made. The United States has a vital interest in preserving the many political, economic, and security gains that have been achieved in Afghanistan since 2001. The United States' perspective on this is that they are helping Afghanistan, but the Taliban's perspective on this is that the United States is interfering greatly. The conflict is escalating as each party asserts will to achieve their goals. While the United States and its allies have pledged to provide ongoing support to Kabul, the transition to a peacetime economy could further destabilize Afghan society by inflating the budget deficit and increasing unemployment rates. There is both actual and perceived interaction involved. The actual interaction derives from the disputes and fighting among the strong-willed Taliban and the U.S. government. The perceived interaction results from people thinking that they are taking action, thinking that they are resolving this issue when in fact they aren't. Also, each party can misconstrue if action was taken or not, resulting in miscommunication. Their interactions can cause more conflict. If America withdraws their military and allows Afghans to have control of their own safety, the Taliban acts back by escalating their threats and dangerous behavior. The United States and Afghanistan have a certain level of interdependence as well. The United States is greatly dedicated to being involved in the Afghans' economy and human rights, and Afghans are wanting implications on their rights to diminish. This is a relational interdependence, because it is beyond the specific issue. The U.S. and Afghanistan are more interdependent because they are both countries that have high levels of involvement among each other in their governments. A small management tool for addressing the conflict occurring between the U.S. and the Taliban in Afghanistan is a course of peace. Forgiveness and reconciliation are ever so cliché, but also have been known to change small distress situations for the better. Forgiveness can be defined as the granting of pardon and the decision to transcend resentment. Resentment is the key concept here. The one harmed is the one who feels the most resentment. Reconciliation is defined as the process of reestablishing relationship and settling differences so that animosity and distrust are overcome. Regarding forgiveness, it is for the benefit of the harmed, not the one who did the harm necessarily, but still there is benefit. Regarding reconciliation, the benefit lies in the relationship. So if successful, both countries would benefit from this international conflict resolution tactic. Conflict can be managed on the basis of collaboration. Sometimes collaboration is not feasible, or we have motives other than to work out a mutual solution. The Taliban, for instance, presents a significant threat to the United States' national security and moral leadership. The United States poses a threat to the relentless intentions of the Taliban. If and when both parties are willing to collaborate, They must first differentiate and then make a transition into integration while avoiding the escalation or avoidance of the conflict. Avoiding the problem would lead to the Taliban further consolidating their powers and asserting itself as an uncontrollable rogue state. It is important to create a cooperative climate during differentiation, and the ways in which we frame problems and issues contribute to this. The way to achieve this is to focus on the problem, not the people. If the issue was addressed as the people of Afghanistan are being hurt and deprived of human rights, the economy is facing increased instability, and any help or interaction from surrounding governments is seen as interference, rather than the Taliban is escalating quickly and is the source of the conflicts and considers it a threat when the U.S. government provides aid to their victims, supports moderate Afghans, and elevates the importance of Afghanistan at home. Then there would be a higher chance of framing the problem, smoothly moving from differentiation to integration, and succeeding in collaboration. When third parties intervene in conflicts, they become active participants in the parties' interaction. Third parties make initiatives that spark reactions and launch sequences of interaction. Canada can be identified as a third party siding against the Taliban. Canada has been an outspoken critic of the Taliban's human rights abuses against the citizens of Afghanistan. Canada continues to provide humanitarian aid to the country despite Taliban restrictions on aid agencies. Pakistan is one of the 3 countries who support the Taliban, along with Saudi Arabia and the UAE. These 3 recognize the Taliban and their power in Afghanistan. There are 2 primary sources to understanding the potential of third-party influences. The first being the third-party mandate. The third-party mandate is the ascribed source of the power the intervener holds. The other is the third party's responsiveness to the unfolding conflict interaction among the parties. There are 3 types of dispute management systems. The first being interest-based system. Interest-based systems attempt to find a resolution that satisfies the parties' underlying interests or needs. Interest-based systems tend to mirror the problem-solving and compromising styles. The second being the rights-based system. The rights-based system attempts to establish which party is right based on independent standards accepted as legitimate and fair by the parties. The last being the power-based system. In power-based systems, parties attempt to coerce each other into doing what they want. Power-based systems often include competing, avoiding, and accommodating styles. The interest-based system is more appropriate in the Taliban-U.S. situation. It is a good starting point for possibly resolving the instability in Afghanistan. The rights-based system would not be efficient because each already think they are right and that the other party is wrong. The power-based system is close to what is already happening, but it should cease to happen in the future.